All right, everyone, welcome back to another episode of NFL Hot Route Takes. Chase Owens here, your host, with my co-host Christian Mills and Brian Sarver. How we doing this Wednesday night, boys? Feeling good? Feeling good?
Feeling great.
Feeling great.
Another
Christian,
day
you
in
you get
paradise, boy.
when's your next round of golf here, Christian?
Don't worry about it. I hit the range today. Don't worry about it. I'm getting right.
For our
Guys,
listeners, for our
abandoned
listeners.
basketball.
Well, for any of our listeners, we did us three get together quite frequently for some pickup basketball, but once COVID set in and our age increased, golf became a little bit more appealing, given the toll it takes on your body. So, for anyone listening, me and Christian have a ongoing bet on a 2v2 between one of my friends, or all mutual friends, so me and another friend versus Christian and his cousin. That will be taking place. Maybe we'll update y'all with the final
match update. Yeah, the
Yeah,
match
yeah.
update.
We'll call it
I hit
the
I hit
Hot
my
Route
3
Takes
wood
match.
further than he hits his driver. Update.
Hey man, I got my big powerhouse lefty doing the driving. I'll be doing the putting.
Good dude.
That's all I got to
I hear
say.
you. I hear you.
But enough golf talk, guys. We got some takes to get into. For anyone that's just joining us here, I mentioned on the last episode, if y'all hadn't checked that out already, on our NFL Week 13, I believe, game picks. We usually cram the game picks previews of each week along with these takes we're about to get into one episode, and we felt a little bit rushed. We were missing out on some debates and open floor discussions amongst ourselves. So we wanted to split those two segments into separate episodes for you guys. So we're recording this one right after our game picks recording session, which will be released on Thursday morning. We'll get these knocked out and release that for you guys on Friday morning. So a little bit more content in your podcast feeds, along with the shorts and TikToks that Christian and Brian, all of us, do a great job of keeping out there for you guys. So without further ado, we'll get into some football talk here. I think each of us have a couple takes we want to get to. Anyone want to lead us off here? I've got my two. But if
I'll
anyone
start
has
us out,
something
man.
burning, go ahead, Christian.
I got you. So, with how Buffalo's been going, we talked about them a little bit, but I will say it's kind of not just on Buffalo, but I think Sean McDermott, if they don't make it to the playoffs, he's done. Like, he's going to lose the coaching job. But with me saying that, I think, like we've always seen, I don't think he's the only coach. I'm leaning towards, I think we have 5 head coaches that more than likely will no longer be coaches. Honestly, I could argue 7 teams that will have to have a head coach after this season.
You want us to reel them off? You
can reel them off, or if you say, definitely Sean McDermott, you can argue, I guess, if you think he would keep that job. But I just think if they miss the playoffs, there's no way possible for him to keep that job.
Yeah, my thing is, recently, it may have been a week ago or so, that Adam Schefter came out and said he thinks as high as 10 to 12 coaching vacancies could be in play. It's going to get messy this offseason. I think 5 is a shoo-in. 7 seems like the more accurate number, as Christian said. But if you have teams like Buffalo miss the playoffs, who no one really expected, that could create a vacancy that no one really saw coming. And should Buffalo miss the playoffs, I think I lean they will move on, and it's just because of the way things have looked this season in particular. Josh Allen was on the cusp a few years ago of joining this MVP talk and yearly MVP discussion, and things just haven't gelled on that side of the ball. For whatever reason, the ground game has never really gotten to gear and supplemented the pass offense. That's taken a step back. Major step back in these last couple of seasons. Injuries on the defense. So, yeah, I think he's very much on the hot seat, Christian. This last 4 or 5 week stretch for Buffalo is going to be key for him, and really key for Josh Allen and knowing what they need to surround him with to be successful in the future.
Yeah, I agree. I think that it's been a lot of poor decisions during the game and critical situations. There's been, questionable decisions in free agency, though, as well, I feel like. So I don't think it's just a Sean McDermott thing. I do think losing Leslie Frazier, the injuries year after year just continue to pile on this defense. They continue to get older. And I think just in general, from a broad bird's eye view, they need to change direction. And I think going with offensive minded head coach, you're already up against the cap. You need to kind of get what you can of what you have on this roster. And what you have is a franchise quarterback in Josh Allen, a franchise receiver and Stephon Diggs, and a young, promising tight end in Dalton Kincaid. You have pieces here. You might as well invest in a coach that's going to get the most out of these pieces that you do have. And like I said, you're up against caps. You got to kind of invest smartly and make sure that you're, playing your cards at the right time. So I think Josh Allen is a really good quarterback. I think this franchise is still in good shape just because they have a good quarterback like that. So I think they can afford to take a coaching change in stride, just because you have that steady force in there, and that's Josh Allen.
Yeah. I got one last little part I guess I can add to it. I say we all can pick a team that you think the head coach would be gone, but we can't pick the same team. So I'll go first. I'm leaning toward Tennessee Titans, believe it or not. I think that will be a job that will be up on the market after this year.
Yeah, wow, that's I'm gonna try to steer clear of some of the obvious, Carolina's just open up a job. Seems like we talked in our last pod, Washington could be headed that way. I'll try to steer clear of some of those. Tennessee is a shocking one, Christian. Not one I would have called,
Well,
but
I see it, man.
Vrabel's just he's
Yeah, bro. You got to think Houston's supposed to be in rebuilding. They're in third place. You have Jacksonville that's been owning the division back-to-back years, and the Colts don't have a starting technically quarterback. They have their backup in, and they got a better record than you without their starting back. And you're at fourth, and you were in the playoffs not too long ago. Blew your chance, did the whole things with the Ravens in the playoffs, and now this is what you're looking like. You have Ryan Tannehill sitting the bench, and that's a coach decision. And you have Will Levis out there stinking it up right now. So honestly, I can see it, man. He's did his time there. It's not when his plan. Derrick Henry's not the same. So what he wants to do there, it's not going to be a thing.
Okay. You got one, Brian? Any team that's maybe under the radar that could be looking at Bucks?
What?
Yeah. I see that. I definitely see that, actually.
Yeah. They're 2-7 last 9 games.
So what if they make it to the playoffs? It's possible, Brian. And I think with the rest of their schedule, it's really possible. But even if they make it to the playoffs, get a knocked out first round, more than likely, you don't see that buying come at least another year.
Nope. I don't think they make playoffs. That's kind of where it's rooted in. If they do, I mean, maybe he gets another year, but it'd just be a mistake. I don't think he's a good head coach.
Kind of with Brian on that one. He's had opportunities previous, and he really didn't perform well. And ever since taking over, since the Super Bowl run for Tampa Bay, they've been. I know obviously not having Tom Brady, but even with him, they didn't look very good. So maybe a under the radar one. I don't know if it gets done, but I've seen a lot of fans been calling for this for a few seasons now. That's the Cincinnati Bengals and Zach Taylor, I think his name is.
Yep, correct.
I know the Super Bowl run kind of buys you a little more leeway with the front office, but it just feels, even with Joe Burrow on the field, a lot of Bengals fans have been preaching that this team just feels underachieving. Every season's been a slow start. Ultimately, that can boil down to a few different things, but the head coaching job could be a part of that. And with this much talent on offense, maybe finding a guy that can unlock that and get them to a 1 seed where you're hosting an AFC championship game or something like that, really just is more, I don't know, plausible for this team, and something that would spark the fan base a little more. So maybe not one that gets done, but an under the radar one to watch, because they're probably going to miss the playoffs without Joe Burrow here. Y'all agree?
Yeah, I agree with where your head is on this one. At first, I didn't, but then I got to thinking about it, and what I ultimately came to is because of the way this team just operates. They only play well when Joe Burrow is clicking. That's it. And, Joe Burrow has to play very high levels of football for this offense to work, and it's so dependent on Joe Burrow. You've seen other quarterbacks come in here, and every time you do, they just sneak it up, and there's no reliable run game. It relies on so much on the chemistry with their guys on the outside, winning one-on-one matchups down the field. And, when they don't have Burrow in there, they don't have that. And offense just really is non-existent. We've seen the defense just play very sporadically. You see very good run defense. DJ Reader and the company just mauling teams, and the next week they're getting ran on. You see the secondary's inconsistencies. So especially on the back end for Cincinnati, losing two premier safeties in the NFL, that'll do that to you. So, yeah, man, I can definitely see that happening. Although I do think it is unlikely.
Nah, I mean, to be honest, I kind of see it, and it's because I kind of heard this stat the other day, blew my mind. But Zach Taylor without Joe Burrow on the field is 4-28-1. I mean, he's only won 4 games without Joe Burrow, and you're supposed to be a good head coach. Supposedly, this guy led us to the promised land almost, but I mean, you only won 4 games without your starting quarterback. Granted, I mean, that is your guy supposed to be on the field most, get paid the big money. But I mean, we've seen teams this year throw out rookies and come out with wins, and we've seen Joshua Dobbs go to a team not know anybody, and head coach is that great that he can win games. So I think Zach Taylor's an interesting one. I think maybe he could buy himself some time with the Joe Burrow injury. But if they look at this stat, 4-28-1, that kind of makes me think maybe we should go in a different direction.
Yeah. Maybe just the thought is untapped potential with Cincinnati, and maybe that's what's holding them back, and that's why I went that way in that take. So yeah, good question for the pod there, Christian. Head coaching vacancies will be in plethora, I think, this offseason. Adam Schefter came out and said that himself for a reason. NFL landscape nowadays, they don't really bide their time and let a lot of losing just take place before jumping ship. So some names to watch out there for sure. My first one here is going to come back to the New Orleans Saints. Not a team we talk a whole bunch about, but with the NFC South as bad as it is, it's a very winnable division. I think the defense is talented enough to win the division. Which quarterback do you think is either of them good enough to win this division? If so, which one do you rather have? Because although Jameis has his deficiencies, if not for vibes alone, I want to see him in there because he's just so fun to watch. But I'm just tired. Truthfully, I have a Vegas Raiders fan in my life who preached for a long time Derek Carr is not it. And I'm with him after this year, man. I'm so sick of watching him. It's just Olave's a good player. They've got pieces to do things with, and they can't score points. Like, I want to see something different. And I think Jameis could present them, if anything, a little more explosive pass plays and be enough to just win this bad division. So I want to see Jameis Winston quarterbacking the New Orleans Saints. How about you guys? I mean, neither option is great. I know, but
I don't like either option. I just think Jameis has been in places and had opportunities to get play, and he just hasn't. And that kind of scares me away from believing in him in any kind of shape, form, or fashion. And then when he has, he's had some moments where he's had some big plays, but he's also turned the ball over a lot in his career, and I just see that to continue to be a problem if he was to get play. So I don't think it would help them. I also don't think they're in a particularly good boat right now with Carr or Jameis Winston. Maybe Taysom Hill's the answer.
oh god.
Yeah, I'll just say if that's the answer, at least, let Derek or Jameis go out there and at least get him to the 50, and then you maybe could throw him out there from there on. Would be a good idea moving forward. But, I mean, at this point, I'm leaning with Chase. I think Taysom Hill would be maybe like they've been doing, a red zone thing. But I think Jameis Winston would be the answer just because I think what he'll bring, just like Chase said, the deep ball will be more involved. Derek Carr, I just don't think that's a part of the game anymore. So I think with that, yes, you're going to take some of those interceptions with that, but we'll see a piece of this offense that we haven't seen all year with Jameis out there.
All right, Brian. That's our thoughts on the Saints. You got an NFL take lined up for us to discuss here.
Yep. Green Bay Packers making the playoffs. Yes or no?
Okay. Let me look at the schedule. God almighty.
We're back on this. Me and Brian visited this. I don't know if you were there for that pod there, Christian, but it is a light schedule. And I think it's going to come down to the head-to-head with Minnesota. And I had the Vikings making the playoffs preseason. I know it's not Kirk Cousins anymore, but they're getting Justin Jefferson back, and that's a huge, huge, huge boost to the offense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna stick with Minnesota taking that spot from Green Bay. Although I will credit to you, Brian. Green Bay's playing a lot better, but I think they're on the outside looking in come season's end.
Okay. Christian,
I
you look at it yet,
I
man?
think without Aaron Jones hurts a lot. I think that's where I really stand, and really getting Christian Watson on and off. You don't know which one you're getting. Reed's kind of been, to me, the most elite guy in the wide receiver room. So I don't really, I kind of see the Vikings. I think that's just the better team kind of at this point. I think that does scare me that, their defense is just blitz heavy, and we've seen that if the Bears can come out and win with that defense, I think other teams also have an opportunity to capitalize on that. But I just cannot get behind Green Bay at this point with not having an elite, not even an elite running back, but just a good running back. I think we've seen A.J. Dillon has had some big plays, but I just cannot really get behind A.J. Dillon and saying, yeah, this would be a good enough guy to really push us and make us have a playoff push.
Okay, Brian, before you talk here, I want to run through the Packers, Vikings, and probably Seahawks schedule because
That's what I
that
was about to
that
do.
seems the three teams that's going to be fighting. Two of them likely to make the playoffs here. But to start us off, the Packers are sitting at 5-6. They have Sunday night against the Chiefs. They travel to the Giants, host the Buccaneers, travel to the
Oh,
Panthers, travel to the Vikings, and host the Bears to finish it off. Lot of winnable games in that one. Whereas you get to the Vikings, they sit half a game ahead of Green Bay at the moment at 6-6. They travel to the Las Vegas Raiders, travel to the Cincinnati Bengals, host the Detroit Lions, host the Green Bay Packers, and travel to the Detroit Lions to finish the year. Uh, that's obviously a little bit tougher road with two Detroit games, but as I said, that head-to-head Green Bay game could
now
be
look at that
a
Seattle schedule, baby.
I was about to say, now we're going
No,
to get to
God.
Seattle, which is a lot rougher, but they have the best record of the three teams. They're sitting at 6-5. They're just going to have a difficult course to navigate. Starting this Thursday, as we previewed our last episode, traveling to the Dallas Cowboys. Week after that, travel to the San Francisco 49ers. Then at home against the Philadelphia Eagles. Finally, a winnable game the next week, traveling to Tennessee to take on the Titans. They then host the Steelers and travel to the Cardinals to finish up. So, yeah, this stretch here, Cowboys, Niners, Eagles, you would think they have to pull an upset somewhere to make the playoffs because even if they win out against Titans, Steelers, Cardinals, that puts them at 9. And with the other teams having a little bit softer schedule, things could get a little hectic there. I don't know, man. I'm still going to lean Green Bay being the outside looking in because as much as you're preaching Green Bay is there, I think they could lose a game to the Bears or one of those teams they're supposed to beat, and they're already a game behind. So that's my reasoning in having them outside looking in. Brian, what's going to be the difference to get them in? Why do you feel you've been on Green Bay love all year, but why are you sticking
He,
to it?
he was
That
holding a
Green
lot of
Bay
W's while
love.
you're listing it off, man.
Ooh, Chase, man, what a
Yeah,
segue, man!
you like
Right
that?
into my talking point. I love that. It's Jordan Love. Who would have saw it coming? But got some quick statistics for you. So he had a pretty good game last week. 268 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Week before that against Christian's Chargers, 322 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions.
That's
The week
everybody.
before that, against the Pittsburgh Steelers, 289 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. It's the Pittsburgh Steelers, The week before
Right.
that, against the Rams, 20 of 26, 228 yards, 9 yards per attempt, touchdown, no interceptions. That's 4 weeks of good play, baby. We might be seeing something here. Jordan Love in this offense taking the next step. Hey, I'm just putting it out there. I see it. I watched the film. I like what I see. I like Jordan Love. I'm glad to see him playing well. And I think he's playing well than a lot of quarterbacks out there that are overhyped a little bit. I'd say Jordan Love's better than Derek Carr.
Lamar
Okay.
Jackson. I'm just kidding.
Well, this pod was about to derail for a second.
I was going to go ahead and put both my takes together.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Let's
go
go
ahead.
division by division. Jordan Love or that quarterback. Okay.
I was
Okay,
about-
dang, I like
Starting
this.
in the North, NFC North, Minnesota Vikings and Josh Dobbs.
Josh Dobbs.
Chase.
I know. I know.
Think about NASA.
Think about NASA.
Josh Dobbs, bro.
I love Josh Dobbs, bro. I do. You know what? I want to see what Josh Dobbs looks like with Justin Jefferson.
Thank you.
That's all I'm gonna say on that.
So
Because
undecided.
I think it can. Yeah, undecided. Once I see that, I'll have an answer. That's the cop, like
I'm ready,
easy.
Brian.
Yeah, cop your way out. But
Jordan Love.
Jared Goff, are you going to take him over Jared Goff? Because I mean, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah, there we go. Yes, Jared Goff.
I'm going Jordan
Jared
Love.
Goff is. I think he's just so easily to rattle. Like if you get pressure on Jared Goff, he just, for lack of better words, he craps himself. he needs that run game, and he needs the line to hold up. And Jordan
He
Love,
needs Dan Campbell.
Yeah, Jordan Love, I'll give him credit. He's got arm talent to where he can make some throws with pressure in his face, and it's impressive.
Did you see that stiff arm of Max Crosby?
Max Crosby's so good too. Yeah, I mean,
And hurt.
yeah,
How he wasn't hurt in that game. He wasn't hurt in that game.
Well, that said, Jared Goff has his ups and downs, but I'm going to take him over Jordan Love. He's just more proven at this point. But
Yep.
I see your reasoning for taking him.
I'm going to go quick. Chicago, Justin Fields.
Justin Fields.
Yeah, I like Justin still.
Jordan Love. Washington.
Wow. I'll definitely take Love over Howell.
Sam
But Howell's
Howell.
not- Howell's
Sam
not-
Howell.
Oh, God,
I'm
Jalen
taking
Hurts.
Sam
Damn,
Howell.
how?
Bro, leading the league in
Oh.
passing. His weapons
that-
haven't been 100% all year. If he's in
I
a better coaching environment,
yards
I think
per
Sam Howell,
attempt.
bro, offensive
I
line's
think-
not good. He's getting sacked a lot, and he's still getting the passing yards, brother. Sam Howell, and he has no running game.
Those sacks are Sam Howell stats.
I was about to say, by no means do I think Sam Howell's terrible. He's kind of proven that this year, but those are where the counting stats hurt, in my opinion, because Washington's behind almost every game, and he's got weapons to get big chunk plays. Like it's still just the points. Like he needs to put up more points for me and be leading these games and have more balance. Sam Howell's by no means bad, but I think Jordan Love's had a better year. If I just less turnovers, a lot less sacks, and that is a QB stat at times.
A lot less turnovers and sacks. A lot.
Yeah.
Tommy DeVito.
Oh God, yes.
I'm taking him over any quarterback that's on the Giants roster. Jordan
Yes.
Love.
Yes.
Jalen Hurts. We don't even have to really talk
Oh
about
yeah,
that.
No,
Dak Prescott.
no.
nah, that
No.
Prescott.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott. Desmond Ritter.
He's better than Ritter. Yeah.
Bryce Young.
I still love Bryce Young.
Yeah.
He's
I gotta see it, bro.
I'll
gotta
tell
see
you
him
this
with
right
weapons.
now. If you're asking me to pick a QB for the future, I'm taking Bryce Young. I'm not hopping off that train, man. Carolina just
I
sucks.
hopped off of it.
Ride your train. Tell him, man.
I'm not, man. Bryce Young's going to be good. He just needs help. And really, he might need to demand a trade. That owner just threw him under the bus. And I don't know if our
Right.
listeners caught that clip, but
I tell you
pretty
what,
What's
much
up,
said
Brian? I got
You need some
Brock
milk.
Purdy or Jordan Love.
Brock Purdy, man.
I think Love would do well in that system. I think that's
Okay.
that's close.
This guy.
Dude,
Kyler Murray or
Love
Jordan
is-
Love?
Here, man.
Kyler.
Love.
Dang.
Not a Murray
What,
guy.
Brian?
Not
What
a
the
Murray
what?
guy.
That's
Not a Murray
crazy.
guy. I'm not done
You're
yet.
crazy,
Got
bro.
Carr. We already said. Tampa
Okay,
Bay.
we know that
Baker
answer.
Mayfield. Ooh.
I'm taking Baker Mayfield over Jordan Love. What I've seen out of this year, bro,
Wow.
and the big time throws to Mike Evans, bro, I'm taking him. He's actually
know
got
what?
a team
I'm-
behind him, bro, leading the way. They actually build upon. I think Baker bought another year, and they're actually going to build with Baker. I'll be interested to see what happens next year with this Tampa Bay team.
I'm with Christian. I like Baker better.
Okay. Okay. Geno Smith.
No,
I still
Jordan
like Gino.
Love.
I still like Gino. He just. I know he's
can't
not
do
having
it.
the best
No,
year,
what
but
Christian said. He picked Jordan Love over Geno.
Yeah,
did,
I know he's
bro.
looked bad this year.
He
But,
looks bad this year. But like I said, I mean, he's dealing. I know the knee injury's been a thing. Now he's got the arm or elbow, whatever it is. So
Yeah.
injuries might play a factor. But Jordan Love has just looked more impressive to me than what I've seen at Gino.
That's true.
Okay. Stafford.
Yeah, Matthew.
He's still good when he's healthy. Tim Boyle, Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson.
Any Jets quarterback. Same thing. Both New York teams are the same sentiment. I don't care what quarterback you got in New York. I'll take Jordan Love over all of them.
Mac Jones.
Jordan Love.
Okay, yeah, Jordan Love.
Josh Allen.
Josh
Allen. Easy.
Tua.
Easy.
Jordan Love.
I knew that was coming. Kenny Pickett.
Kenny Pickett.
Jordan Love.
I'm taking Kenny Pickett, bro. After what I've seen this year, bro, with actually him being able to run an offense and actually use the middle of the field, almost had 300 yards passing. I think there's a lot more to Kenny Pickett that we hadn't seen that Matt Canada was just killing. Like, he was just killing it. Like, wasn't a thing.
I think they got better weapons than Green Bay does, and Jordan Love's put up way better numbers.
Yeah, but the offense has been terrible. I wanted to say another word, but it's been terrible. Like, the offense has been bad, bro. Like,
yeah, but what have you seen from Kenny Pickett to say he's better than Love? Like, he has done nothing.
I think I've seen him in college. Granted, it's not the NFL, but I think with a new offensive play caller, they can really open up, maybe bring some of that old Kenny Pickett that we seen at Pitt back to the NFL. And I think you look up their offense before last week, bro. Nothing was in the middle of the field. I mean, absolutely nothing.
It was
all teams were defending was sidelines. And I mean, with that being said,
yeah,
I just think Kenny Pickett being able to run an offense, they can actually do something with Kenny Pickett there.
That's why Freiermuth had such a big week, because weeks 1 through 11, it was strictly sideline back shoulder throws to George Pickens, and that was it. And the middle of the field opened up with Freiermuth this past week. I'm interested to see what Steelers' offense looks like in the coming weeks for sure. Matt Canada obviously was holding that team or that offense back, but that said, I still don't. Jordan Love's ceiling is much higher than Kenny Pickett's for sure.
And he's put up dang near Justin Herbert stats with a lackluster supporting cast. 20 touchdowns, almost 3,000 yards passing this year. But where are we at?
Still AFC North.
Yep. Cleveland.
Browns. Deshaun.
Deshaun Watson.
I'll still take
Deshaun. Including the other starters. Dorian Thompson-Robinson.
No, I'm not taking
him.
No. Jake Browning.
No.
Lamar Jackson.
I'm taking Jordan Love. No, I'm being serious. Like, Chase, you're laughing. I'm being serious on this one. Nah, bro. Jordan Love. No, I'm being so serious. Jordan Love has at least a capable deep ball that can get there when big time throws need to be made. Jordan Love has a better chance of making them than Lamar Jackson does.
No, dude. Nah.
For the listeners, I know Kristen's trolling, bro. There's no way. No NFL fan in their right mind would take Jordan Love.
That's a wild take. And I'm a Jordan Love guy. That's a wild take.
Oh, Lord.
Kristen's trying to have me
I'll take
Lamar,
man. Lamar till he's hurt in the playoffs, and Jordan Love will be healthy, and then at the end of the day, Jordan Love will be there.
Oh, God. Generational.
We'll take Lamar, man.
Generational.
We'll take Lamar, man. Lamar. He just needs to work on that deep ball, man.
Hall of Fame hater. I love Christian, man. I really do. What we got left, man? We got the AFC South.
Yep. Yeah.
Trevor. Yeah, Trevor.
Trevor.
Will Levis.
Oh, Jordan Love.
Jordan Love.
Gardner Minshew.
No, don't do this, man. Anthony Richardson.
We haven't been doing the starters the whole time.
Yeah.
Man, I'm just telling you who's going to be there, man. Anthony Richardson. I'm picking my guy, Anthony Richardson. Over
as well.
If he'll be on the field, you know.
He was just pulling his Tua this year, man. He'll get right next year.
Is that it?
Maybe Gardner Minshew over Jordan Love,
injury, a concussion, all that stuff. Has Lamar had one of those?
It ain't over.
Justin Herbert.
CJ Stroud, man. CJ Stroud, man. I'm going to take the next one, man. I'm going to go ahead and say it.
Stroud. Yeah.
Yeah, that's easy.
Herbert.
Justin
Jordan
Herbert,
Love,
man.
baby.
Okay,
Aiden
this
O'Connell.
guy.
Okay, of course, Justin Herbert, and I had to get you that.
Aiden O'Connell.
Jordan Love.
Christian's thinking about that one.
He was.
Jordan
He's
Love,
thinking
man.
hard. And the last one, Russell Wilson.
Give me Russ. Russ is
Give me-
rejuvenated this year, man.
No. Give me Jordan Love. For us, is not. I think Sean Payton has made him look a lot better than what we. Like, he's not letting Russ be Russ. I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and put that to rest.
He's throwing some.
He's making some big time throws, but he's not doing it the Russ way.
Yeah. I'm a Sean Payton hater. I always have been.
I mean, I was early, bro, but I give it to Sean Payton. He has turned me into. I like what he's doing over there in Denver, and he's really trying to. I ain't gonna say create something because he's not getting players there, but he's doing a great coaching job.
I was a year late on the Denver train, but they're playing good ball. I just wanted to wrap it up, see where y'all's heads were in Green Bay, and we are all over the place. Like I have him in the 14, 15 ballpark. Chase probably has him in the 20 ballpark, and Christian's probably got him at like the 25, 24 ballpark. So all over the place.
Well, I would like to revisit preseason. That's pretty much how it mapped out. I believe even since we had not seen Jordan Love start a season, you were only as high as like 19, 20 with him.
Yeah.
I had him at like 23. You had him at 24, and Christian had him at like 26.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
like
we were very
26,
much,
7, 8.
Yeah, well, I mean, we did that with him and all the rookie QBs. We were holding back just because we haven't seen it. As we're past the halfway mark, Brian's aggressively moving him up into that really top half of NFL QBs. That play the last 4 weeks kind of warrants that. For me and Christian, I think I still can't forget the first half of the year, and he's still in that, other 20 tier to me, I guess. But by no means should Green Bay mail it in. I think they're, they need to keep throwing him out there at least the rest of this year, maybe next, and put some more weapons and see what they truly have with them.
All right, Chase. So my last take, man, it's gonna get you going, man. But it's not on purpose. But I just wanted to tell you, man, just with the remaining schedule that the Pittsburgh Steelers has, they will win the division at the end of the year.
I think it comes down to week 18 between the head-to-head because our next 4 are like 2-2. I think I'd sign up for 2-2 in our next 4, and that's obviously it's not something you want to say about your team dropping 2 games in 4 weeks, but just looking at Jacksonville, at San Francisco, the Rams should be the most winnable game, and then the Dolphins. I would gladly take 2-2, and I think 2-2 is. It actually would be, even if the Steelers go 4-0 in that stretch, they would, quote, have, I believe, a 1-game lead coming into week 18. If we win, maybe the tiebreaker goes our way. I'm not sure how that works, but Pittsburgh's schedule is easier, but I like week 18 being in Baltimore, and I still think we're the better team. So I'm going to ride with my boys to finish it out. But yeah,
I don't think Pittsburgh lose another game this year.
That offense is going to have to just be better than what they have been. I'm about to say, we were all close to almost picking Arizona. Like, that's how much we still just can't believe in.
Almost close, man.
I was
Pittsburgh, bro.
I mean, we head to head. You think Kyler's better than Kenny Pickett? I do.
No, I just think Kyle Murray.
And that was
hope he can run real quick with TJ Watt coming after him this week.
Yeah, well, that alone was enough to almost have me pull the trigger on Arizona, but I still think that much of Pittsburgh's
New England, Pittsburgh. No way. No, Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh Colts. Zach Moss is the leading back. Love the guy, but dude, Pittsburgh. Bro.
2 weeks?
Well, yeah, okay.
They said it's actually probably
pretty
looking
bad.
Worse than it's been reported. Both him and Kenneth Walker, they believe the timetable is like, 1 to 3 weeks or something like that. The injuries are worse than they're letting on, and that would be a big blow, obviously, for the Colts.
Telling me though, they're going to win the division. You got Lamar Jackson too busy playing golf instead of working on his deep ball right now. So I just think, with that being said, man, Lamar and them ain't focused on that new offense that they got going that looks so great, but every week Lamar's the leading rusher almost. So I'm gonna just say, man, I like Pittsburgh out of that division right now. With what's going on in Cleveland, the injuries, Pittsburgh just to me is the favorite right now.
It's okay, Christian.
The Ravens are
What?
second in scoring in the NFL, have one of the best defenses and one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, Christian. One of these
their
days,
defense is
I am
their
not a
defense is
Ravens
great.
fan, but
Their
you got to get on
defense is
board to an
great.
extent, son. You
Bro,
pick Cleveland over them, Pittsburgh, and what's the other? Ah,
He didn't have him making the playoffs. He had him
Cincinnati.
finishing.
You pick
He had
all
him finishing
three AFC
fourth.
North teams over
Okay,
the
but
Ravens, bro.
listen. All I'm gonna say is, look, if Deshaun Watson was healthy right now,
no,
it could still easily be that they would be third in the division. And Joe Burrow, I mean, no one expected them to come out the gates like they did with Joe Burrow having his leg wrapped up and then ultimately his hand dying on him.
as good as Cleveland's defense is, the Ravens probably have a better defense.
I hear you, but who
Overall,
won
like
that game?
depth and all
The Ravens blew them out in Cleveland. They weren't even close in
Where's
Cleveland.
Watson?
I hear you, but that was
No,
early.
they didn't have they didn't have Watson in Cleveland. But
that was Walker.
No, it was DTR. It was DTR's first start.
Yeah, that was his first start. Yeah, bro. No, I can't.
So
no,
I understand that, but to me, it just feels like when the Ravens lose, they shoot themselves in the foot, and I like them. I think they're way more talented than Pittsburgh.
I hear you, but just me, bro. I think the Mark Andrews missing is a lot bigger of a thing than what's been brought up right now. So, I mean, the offense looked bad against a Chargers defense. I'm telling you, as a Chargers fan, bro, y'all struggled against us. It's kind of not. I'm not going to say sad, but I expected Zay Flowers and them to go stupid on us. I really did.
I did too, but I think that was very much y'all had to win that game for your season to stay alive. And Khalil Mack, that's what I was preaching in the last episode. When our offensive line and Lamar doesn't feel comfortable, the offense is sputtering. And Khalil Mack had a day Sunday night last week. And not to say that can't happen against other great pass rushers, but the other side of the ball is so good to me. The defense, like who's putting up 30 points against them? I don't. It's rare.
Ravens tackles have struggled this season, and that's a big part of it. And
Moses hasn't been on the field.
Yep.
And Stanley's just
playoff football. There's going to be teams that can really take advantage of that against y'all.
Honestly, that's
playoffs. Yeah.
I think we're a Super Bowl contender, and right now I'm leaning we don't make the Super Bowl. I'd have a hard time putting us. I think we could get the AFC Championship, but I could very well see us losing second round to a Miami or a KC or Jacksonville, whoever that may be, because the offensive line struggles right now. That said, that's the playoffs. Regular season, I think we're well enough equipped to beat Pittsburgh week 18, and I think that's enough. Brian, you think we win the division in the end? Obviously, it looks like Pittsburgh's the only threat.
Yeah, I do. I think Pittsburgh can lose to the Colts. I think they could lose to you guys. I think they could lose to the Bengals. It's a division game. They could lose to Seattle. There's all of these games they can lose. I mean, who have they beat this year? They beat the Packers a couple weeks ago. Let's see, good teams that they beat. The Rams. They beat Baltimore earlier in the year.
They beat the Drops
twice this year.
They beat the Drops.
Yeah. They haven't really had a whole lot of impressive wins. Granted, we're still somewhat we got games to play, but
are we talking about Miami or Pittsburgh now?
I'm just getting it back. You know, you talk about Miami, I'm going to talk about other teams as well. And you know, the Broncos are a winning team, baby. What happened?
Well, man, I said I'm impressed with Sean Payton, man. I said, but I don't think they're going to make the playoffs.
That's a team above 500 that we got a dub on, right? We beat winning teams.
Brian, that 70-point game. Son, Sean Payton was still figuring out where he was.
Oh, okay. That we make excuses now for Miami. Hey, don't worry, Christian. We'll get our win over 500 against a good team. Don't worry about that.
Nah, I'm waiting for it. We're gonna have to wait a couple more weeks.
Yep.
Well, guys, I think this was a good new format. Very much a open floor discussion in every sense of the word, because we're bouncing stuff off each other. Jordan Love talk, Pittsburgh talk, Ravens talk, anything you can think of. I think that's what we're going to be bringing to each of these pod episodes. And really fill up some time and some extra content for the listeners out there, and not handicap and shorten ourselves in the long-winded preview episodes like we were doing. So I like the format, guys, and I'm eager to keep doing so. We'll just look to limit this to Wednesday episodes for our listeners out there. The Sundays will still be mainly recap episodes and a little bit of takes of what we saw in the NFL slate of action for that day. With that said, unless either of you guys have anything, we can wrap up and get out of here. Good to go?
I'm good, man. I'm
He's
good.
burning over there. He's
Fantastic.
burning.
What's going on,
Oh,
Brian?
God.
I'm good, man. I'm just ready for some more football. That's it.
I am too. Some
Well-
actual good games. They're not playing sorry teams. Weak
Christian's
schedule.
season's over. He can't wait for Miami to play a real
Well, my
game.
season's
He has
still
something to cheer
alive, dog.
for.
We still alive. I don't. It ain't done till the season's over. We still alive. We can still make the playoffs.
We'll see about that.
I still have a head coach that has a job somehow. That's what's blowing my mind right now.
You and me both, brother. We've been
Yeah,
preaching
I
that.
don't know about that.
But yeah,
We're just
I
waiting
mean, I
on
can't.
Bill. Ain't no point of firing our guy. Bill's still in the building.
Oh man.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Man, yeah, I think this was productive, guys. Christian, he's Hall of Fame hater. I love him. I love him to
Well,
death.
man, everything I said was pretty spot on, man. Miami schedule's weak. Lamar Jackson needs to work on his deep ball. Instead, he's working on his putting game, talking about some Tiger Woods. But other than that, man, we doing good, man.
Hey,
I just
Christian,
think, you know,
one
what,
last
man?
thing, man. If y'all trade
What?
for Bill Belichick, just know you ain't ever gonna beat Miami. It just won't happen.
Well,
6-0
lost
versus
your
Belichick,
mind.
baby.
You
6-0
done
versus
lost your
Belichick.
mind.
You big
I'm not worried about Miami after this season, dog. Once we can figure out what to do with Quentin Johnson, get him a nice little thing that he can hold Gatorade in to give to Justin Herbert and them when they need it, and get us another number 2 in the building, or number 3 when Mike get healthy. I feel pretty good on where I'm at.
Discussion for another day, as we'll leave it at that, guys. Appreciate the both of you joining us on this late Wednesday night. We obviously have work in the morning. We're going to get out of here. And this episode for our listeners will be in your feed on Friday morning, and we'll be together, all three of us, Sunday to recap the NFL Week 13 slate of action. As always, guys, please give us a follow on Twitter. I am at ChaseOwens96, Christian at C_Mills241, and Brian at Sarver_Brian. All of us on Twitter would welcome your follow and discussion of our NFL takes of the week, as well as recommend you sharing, liking, rating the podcast itself on your podcast feeds, and liking and commenting on the TikTok and YouTube Shorts videos that we get out for you as much as we can. So with that said, thank you all for listening. We will see you next time. Until then, peace out.
Peace. Work on that deep ball, Lamar.